duck the wrath of God. Free.
Remember always walk in the light. And if you feel like you're not walking in it, go find it. Love the light. Roberta Flack, and she not only found the light, but she has also left a legacy of it in her career. Welcome to Beyond Your Radio's special show, Thank You Forever. Roberta Cleopatra Flack. Try living up to the middle name, right? The Black Mountain, North Carolina-born singer, songwriter, soul, jazz, R&B, and a pianist, had to have grown up in a musical family, right? Of course, yes, and that would be pretty much true. She had the Baptist church vibe in her. She had that Sam Cooke, and during those early formative years, she actually, before she turned 16, she got a full scholarship to Howard University. Most likely still one of the youngest attendees in the student and prestigious school's longevity. Not only did she grow up fast, strong, and in a learned institution, it also brought her to her collaborator, Mr. Donny Hathaway, as well as becoming the center, really, of her world and surroundings, eventually leading to a break. That break would come on Capitol Hill. No, she's not a politician, but while performing at a DC function benefit to get a new children's library, Roberta's voice drew the attention of Leslie Coleman McCann, who was heavily connected to Atlantic Records. He was signed with them, and her voice kind of captivated him. She auditioned over 40 songs from her repertoire that she did in some club or, that she'd had over the years in a 3-hour interview at Atlantic. Talk about one ridiculously long interview, right? You would have thought the first time ever they hear her sing that they would have been already smitten and not needed 40 songs in 3 hours. I don't know who that guy was, but let's face it, he got the solo performance of a lifetime. Now, Roberta Flack, First Take in 1969, which was released on Atlantic. It's funny, it took only 10 hours to record the entire album, so someone smarter was definitely in that room. It has a jazz bop feel, but there are definitely elements of what was to come. It's an excellent debut, really, in sound. The band is super tight, and there's a certain song on that album that is just, blow the doors off. But, hold that thought, because, you don't kind of understand how long it took for that song to actually break out. On her sophomore record, Hathaway would enter the scene and become sort of the arranger, and it took a more singer R&B tone over the jazz bop, and seriously deeper and more emotive, I think. But it's the impossible dream here, that version that she lets linger in your mind.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe.
It signaled something more extravagant will be coming. She would cover Bridge Over Troubled Water, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, and To Love Somebody, and songs like that, signaling a bit of a turn to the beauty of her voice, lending to more covers, modifying them musically, even as great and revered as they were. She was nominated for Pop Vocal on that album for the 15th annual Grammy, so that was her first nod, I think. And she was sort of in the consciousness of the music scene, something she would spend a lifetime in. Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway album solidified a great selling single nearly a year after its release, but it was really the inclusion of this song, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, that appeared in Clint Eastwood's Play Misty for Me, a psychological thriller of the time, that would catapult Roberta Flack. In fact, you might say it was as great as Eastwood's other catapulting use of a certain band that had an axe and a slash in it. Actually, perhaps even bigger, as her version was of The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face was played as the wake-up music on Flight 9, the astronauts aboard Apollo 17, on their last day in lunar orbit, which was Friday, December 15th, 1972, before returning to Earth, thus ending the last human exploration of the moon. So how you can't top that as a song. Then came Killing Me Softly, which took her into 2 million copies worldwide status, double platinum. From there, she allows the vocals and the arrangements to be mostly the concern, kind of foregoing the songwriting, which she had done and collaborated with. She loved to cover Carole King, and of course, the Peabo Bryson album, along with others that Hathaway would be on. She would return to collaborating and writing with the 88 album Oasis, which definitely is full of R&B soul, which I believe that had Jeff Lorber was on there, Nathan East, Martin Landau, and of course it was produced by Quincy Jones. Adult Contemporary would sort of become her placement after this recording. It set the night to music and back to covers from Diane Warren and Leonard Cohen, just to mention a couple. In 1994, she kind of made a jazz return, but it was still contemporized. It's the self-titled Roberta Flack album, and it did garner another Grammy nomination. The vocals, pretty much tremendous. A bit more than you were expecting, kind of, I thought, in from my ears. It just showed you what a singer she was and how she could emulate and give emotions that were maybe a little bit different than what you'd heard from the original. What would be her final two albums are actually very pleasant listen, but they're probably the ultimate in what you can do as entirety of covers. One of the ideas has always been a problem for me, and that's the Christmas album, but her Christmas album is essentially beautiful. And then she covers the Beatles. Let It Be is the name of the record in 2012. Flack would die this past February from cardiac arrest at the age of 88. For 40 years, she lived in an apartment at the Dakota. I guess it's like that Hulu show with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. Her neighbors were John Lennon and Yoko Ono. In fact, Sean Lennon would always refer to Roberta as Aunt Roberta. Her signature voice and arrangement to those memorable singles that marked generations are timeless, utilized in many places and throughout and beyond movies. They're referenced and they measure vocals like that of Adele to that marker. She certainly had an understated power and the control and required delivery. While she may not be the hardened pop star or even the soul crasher R&B mistress, Cleopatra acted smoothly, with character, with determination, and a solid gold palette of someone that gave and commanded respect without a necessary scene to do so. Among the greats, Etta, Ella, Aretha, Dion, and of course, like them, there's only one, Roberta. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course, articles, videos, podcasts. It's all about albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thank you for watching and happy listening.